Burg Eltz, a medieval castle nestled in the valley between Koblenz and Trier, has been occupied by the same family since the 12th century. The original manor was constructed in the 9th century along an old Roman trade route that linked the Mosel and the Eifel rivers. The castle has been jointly owned by 3 members of the Eltz family since the year 1268. The castle is remarkably well preserved. It underwent a siege in 1331 and avoided being destroyed in the 30 Years' War, when most German castles were destroyed by the French. You can enjoy a 45-minute tour of the castle, but are not allowed to take pictures or video. Kochel makes an excellent home base to tour the Middle Mosel River. This area of the Mosel has been occupied since Celtic times. The first historic mention of Kochel is in the year 866. The town was besieged but not conquered during the 30 Years' War. Much of Kochel was destroyed in World War II, as it was a production center for vehicle ignition systems. Kochel Castle was destroyed by the French in 1689. It was purchased in 1868 and restored by a steel baron from Berlin. Tours of 7 rooms are available in German only. The other 43 rooms are empty, however. The owners were forced to sell the castle to the Nazi government in 1942, who used it to train lawyers. Today it is owned by the town of Kochel. Trier is Germany's oldest city, as it was inhabited by the Celts 1,300 years before Rome existed. It contains Germany's oldest church and its best Roman ruins. Roman Trier was founded by Augustus in 16 BC. Under Diocletian, Trier was the capital of the western provinces that included Germany, France, Spain, and England. Constantine lived here during part of his reign in the 4th century. Roman Trier had a 4-mile-long town wall with 4 huge gates. Only this northern gate, called Porta Nigra, survives because it became a church. St. Simeon, a pious Greek recluse, lived inside the gate for 7 years. After his death in 1035, the St. Simeon Monastery was established, and the Roman gate was made into a 2-story church. The town's main pedestrian drag is named for St. Simeon and was the main north-south road of the old Roman town. The childhood home of Karl Marx lies along this street. This colorful Venetian-style building was constructed in the 13th century as a keep. Before the age of safe banking, rich men hoarded their gold and silver inside their homes. They needed fortified houses like this one. This cathedral was the seat of the Archbishop of Trier, who was one of the 7 German electors who chose the Holy Roman Emperor. This pink and white building was a palace for the Archbishop. Notice the seal above the door, a crown flanked by a crozier which represented the bishop's ecclesiastical power, and a sword demonstrating his political might. There was constant conflict between the citizens and the Archbishop. When the Archbishop forbade the building of a town hall, the citizens built this assembly hall instead. The knight on the left watches over the people. The knight on the right, which faces the cathedral and the Archbishop, has his hand on his sword ready for battle. In 1507, the mayor built a tower that was taller than the cathedrals. A Bible verse on it says, "Stay awake and pray." In retaliation, the Archbishop raised one tower of his cathedral and topped it with the completion of that verse, "For you never know the hour when the Lord will come." St. Peter's Fountain, built in 1595, symbolizes thoughtful city government, with allegorical statues of justice, fortitude, temperance, and prudence. The ladies represent idealized virtues, but notice the rude monkeys hiding on the column behind them, showing the naughty way things are really done. This is the oldest church in Germany. Emperor Constantine's mother, Helena, allowed part of her palace in Trier to be used as the first church on this spot. In AD 326, to celebrate the 20th anniversary of his reign, Constantine began the construction of two great churches, St. Peter's in Rome and this cathedral in Trier, which is also called St. Peter's. The original Roman cathedral was more than 4 times its present size. The many altars lining the nave are dedicated not to saints, but to different bishops of Trier. The Liebfrau Church, adjacent to the cathedral, is the oldest Gothic church in Germany, dating from the year 1235. This is one of the original columns in the Roman cathedral. The red brick section at the rear of this wall is part of the original construction, but was twice this high. This is the largest intact Roman structure outside of Rome. It was constructed as a throne room for Emperor Constantine. By the 12th century, the archbishops had taken it over, using the nave as a courtyard and converting the apse into a palace. The building became a Lutheran church in 1856, but was badly damaged by World War II bombs. Luxembourg City is an easy drive from Trier. The capital of this Grand Duchy is the seat of several European Union institutions. Luxembourg has the second highest GDP of any nation in the world. It makes a great place to top off the tank, as it has the lowest priced gasoline in Europe. Bilstein lies upstream from Kochel and is billed as the sleeping jewel of the Mosel. Until 1900, you could reach this quiet village only by boat. Given market rights in 1310, it was an independent city-state for centuries. The castle above the town is now in ruins, and the monastery was deserted in 2009. Today, Bilstein depends upon tourism and the wine industry.